Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 4, our final day of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. Tracy and I are excited to be back and doing more lives today with different people. And we don't have a sponsor of the day, but we would like to thank all our sponsors who sponsored us and did the summit, and really appreciate that. We also want to thank all our participants, but we're going to do all that during our wrap up at 7 p.m. So if you're playing bingo, ladies, make sure you submit your bingo card. The instructions are in the email that went out this morning, so that we can enter you in the bingo, because we will be drawing our bingo cards winners. That's going to be a mouthful, at 7 p.m. tonight in our wrap up. So, and if you can't make it and you do win, we'll still send you an email. So not an issue. You don't have to be here to win. We're not going to be that strict about anything. So excellent. So hi, everybody. Say hi in the comments. I see some people have joined. And now I get to be quiet because I'm the guest speaker.
I know, it's so interesting. I have to speak. So, obviously, Heather, first of all, I honestly do thank you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not going to get too emotional, but because there's no way, ladies. I mean, I think the two of us, we like, she does her work for the summit. I do my part for the summit. And yeah, she's the one who kind of got me going on it and everything. And so thank you, because you're amazing and she's amazing to work with. I'm going to do a little spiel, because Heather's also a business coach, which is kind of how I met her, as she'd mentioned in the past, and other things of through networking, because us both, trying to get our businesses going. And I know for a fact she can help you with your business, or if you have a business or your friends have one, please contact Heather or contact me. I will give you her information, no problem. So, however, Heather, the last couple summits, has been doing some videos for us as well, and both of them to do with AI. So obviously we're going to have her speak about that in a moment, but I have a question for Heather. Okay, I have a couple questions. So please, Heather, for those who don't know, let us know where you are in this lovely world.
This is easy. I am on the other side of the forest from Tracy. Sounds very mystical, doesn't it? I'm on the other side of the forest where the bears and the animals hang out. And yes, there are bears in the forest, because I have had a bear in my backyard.
I'm so
and deer and rabbits and all that kind of stuff. And snakes. We have a lot in our forest. We actually do live in a city. We live in Ottawa, Canada. And it's known for the amount of green space it has, which is why we are on the other side of the forest, which is a protected green space, and cannot be developed. So our forest stays, including all of the different animals that we get in our forest. And it's going to say it's about 5 kilometers, which would be a couple of miles deep. So, but yes, we are on the other side of the forest. One day we'll have to meet in the forest, Tracy. We've never done that.
Gee, that sounds a little scary.
It does sound scary. It's a good forest.
Don't worry, ladies, because I'll take pictures and scrapbook it.
There you go. There you
go. Right. So, Heather, tell us, what is the hardest thing that you've had to conquer when it comes to learning technology in your case?
There you go. You could do crafting too, because I'm a crafter. I can answer that in both ways, but technology, which will surprise Tracy, I love what technology can do for me. I am an engineer by degree, so I have an engineering degree, but I never wanted to make the technology. I always wanted to use it and make it better for users. So even when I worked in the tech realm, that's where I sat, was how can I use the technology and how can I make it user friendly? And so my biggest frustration with technology is when I get on something that is not user friendly, as you well know. When it makes it, like Tracy and I use a tool, which is to do all our emails. And if you want to scroll through the tool, you got to always scroll down to the bottom page. And it's just not user friendly. It eats up, literally, we probably waste hours a year waiting for this tool to do things. So for me, technology is keeping up with technology as well. But just, frustration would be ones that are not user-friendly.
At least you just said something that I think makes us non-techies feel a bit better. Is that just the fact that keeping up with technology is, it affects the techies. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So there's
technology is ever churning from whatever end you go on it. And so, but the reality, we're going to talk about AI, but there's disruptors in technology. And so a disruptor in technology is something that changes our behavior completely. So the internet was our first big disruptor, right? Around the world. All of a sudden we could be on the internet.
that.
I mean, I am of an age where I had to dial in, right? Where I had to hit the dial in, wait for the to go through
Yep.
and connect and have these big terminals. And then the internet happened, right? And that was, computer was a big disruptor. The internet, the telephone was a big disruptor. The cell phone's been a huge, big disruptor. And AI is the next big disruptor. So you can worry about it, but you can't get out of it. And I find AI is the biggest disruptor that is being forced on us. Right? Because applications that we use are all throwing AI in there. So AI is being forced on us in a way that all those other disruptors were not forced on us. Like you didn't have to have a cell phone. Eventually you got FMO, fear of missing out, and you got a cell phone. And now it's getting to the point where you do have to have a cell phone. But there was a long period of time where you didn't have to have one, but AI is kind of being forced into everything. So it's a very different type of disruptor.
Okay.
So that's not what you asked, but you got a long answer.
No, that's great, Heather. I do see the questions. We will get to them. Heather's going to have to post them.
Yeah, I can post
And
them.
I'll read them to you.
I always go
But
back to the
before,
first question and work my way backwards. So.
exactly. But before you do that, Heather, why don't you tell us a bit about your project?
So my project and my presentation, for those who haven't watched it yet, is about how do you use AI to craft? How do you use it to be your crafty companion? That's what I called it, right? Because don't resist it, learn it. And there are a lot of things and AI is not just one thing. So I showed you how to use ChatGPT. I will tell you, and it's a great example of evolution. I've been using ChatGPT since it came out, and it changes every week, and it can do more and more every week. So it can draw images now when it wasn't able to draw images. And there are AI applications out there that artists can use to create images. There's a whole bunch of things that can happen. So number one, AI is not one thing. So I just went with how can you use the basic ChatGPT, or you could use it in Gemini or Claudio. There's a bunch of them out there to help you craft. And I looked at the things that we've heard all the time of what can you do. So number one, you can use it I think there's 4 sections in it, how I presented it. But number one, you can use it for just generating ideas. I'm sitting here and I want to craft. What could I do in 30 minutes with my paper? Right? So generating ideas. We've used it in the circle. I remember one woman was like, my nieces are coming over and I want to do a crafty project. What can I do? Right? And so we just plugged it in and AI came with up ideas. So think about what you used to Google and you had to work to read every article and blog, to something that consolidates that into a suggestion. That's a good, I am moving away from Googling stuff when I don't know how to do it to AI, because I get an answer. It's not always right, by the way. AI is by no means always right, but it gets me going in the right path. So the second part of it was how to use AI to create, actually it's the third part. We're going to go third first. How to use AI to solve a problem. Like my big shot is not cutting properly and my dies aren't cutting. What can I do? And that's the question I used as an example. And it will give you a really good list of the things that you should try. The next question is, can you show me a video? And it'll go find a video for you. So think about it doing that work that you used to do with Google. Because if you did that on Google, you would have to read all the articles to find out, is it in this article and that article, and you get a list of it. And then you can use it to write sentiments. I've used it. I have examples. Tracy has examples of using it to write sentiments. It's great for that because you're personalizing. And I know a lot of card makers, you love making the card, but what do you put inside? Right. And so you can write the sentiment, then you can format it in something like Canva or even in Cricut Design Studio, whatever you want to do. And you can write sentiments for it. And there's a lot more you can do, but that's kind of where my presentation stayed this time around.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Right?
So lots of things that you can do with it.
Heather's ready for a question. I can see her arms moving. Go for it.
You want me? I got to find questions.
Yes, no, I know. We'll get to them like might
I
as
love
well.
that, Susan. AI is new to me, but I'm sold. Yeah, don't be scared of it is, I guess, the biggest thing. And it's going to pop up everywhere. You're already using AI, by the way. Google is AI. So AI is just computer doing more for you than it used to do is really a good way to look at it.
And that's it. Like, I think there's a huge fear in it because we're hearing that, but I admit it. You use it just like I'd use Google for certain things that, you know what? All right, Google. All right, AI. You know I'm a scrapbooker now, but now I'm looking for this help, right? If I don't want you to know something about me, I'm not going to look for it. Does that make sense? But
Well, by the way, if you're Googling what you don't know, if you Google anything, the AI already knows everything about you. So it's one of those things that people don't realize about that. And AI does learn. So when you have an AI account, like in ChatGPT, you can train it to know how you like to express yourself. So, I will say, write this in a Heatherish style when I'm using it for business. I will say, make it more casual. Heather likes it this way. And it starts to learn. And it's not learning. It's just storing a little piece of what you said into memory. That's all it's doing, right? It's
you know what the
building a
best part
memory.
of AI is, Heather? It likes to play with Heather's head.
It does.
It likes dashes.
Well,
Sorry, ladies.
well,
When we when we do some of our work, we're trying to come up with a line or whatnot, and it will have a dash in all these sentences. Oh, it drives her nuts.
it's called an EM dash. It's not called a dash. It's called an EM
Oh,
dash.
sorry.
And the only reason it drives me nuts is it uses so much. Most people know you wrote it with AI. So
Yeah.
I have used ChatGPT to create the inside of cards, but I haven't used it to provide inspiration for projects. So thank you for that, for the ideas. And I didn't even go as far as you can go. You can ask it to show you some examples, and it will go into Pinterest and pull some examples for you. So it's not recreating, it's just pulling the information to you to make it easier for you to find stuff in one place. So yeah, it's very powerful that way. Heather, I do have a concern about AI. My daughter is an online artist who creates images from scratch and sells them. Does AI look for copyright? We fear AI steals art without permission. No, AI does not look for copyright. You are still the responsible person in this, right? I am not going to say that not all AI, I'm sure there is AI that works for copyright. I'm sure there is AI that doesn't, but I'm also sure, because I can guarantee this happens, there's people who Google your daughter's site, see the image and steal it, right? So copyright is going to be much more difficult in the future. So it's harder to keep the copyright things and to be used without permission. I can give an analogy, and Tracy and I dealt with this in this summit, is when it comes to music's very copyright. And so when we loaded a video up to YouTube, it said, oh, you have a copyright issue. So it scanned and listened to the 3 bars of music that we had in there and said, oh, that could be a copyright issue. So I don't think the issue of people stealing copyright, Melanie, is like that's been around forever in all medias. And I think AI just makes it worse. But no, you have to. And if you're using something, that's up to. So there's an example that happened in the US a couple of weeks ago. Somebody wrote the best summer books to read. And I don't know if you guys heard this article. Some reporter wrote the 15 best summer books to read, and he published it. And so people are like excited. They're downloading. It was an online publication, I believe. And what happened was the authors were true, but the books didn't exist. So this reporter didn't check his own stuff. So AI actually made up books with the right author's name and then published this. And so much flack. And that's an example of check and double check and check, right? So it's up to the users to really be cognitive of your copyright and things like that. But people still copyright even in the other world. It's a tough one to manage. But yeah, so check your facts. So yeah, this person did right. They published this article. I'm sure it did not do his career a lot of good with all these books, although everybody's talking about them. But all these books that didn't exist, but they were real authors.
So hurry up and create a book of that title. Boom, you're rich.
Exactly.
So
I love
I gotta go now, right? I gotta go do that.
Does ChatGPT let's yes. So when you're waiting on a picture, you can ask it something else. Yeah, what you would have to do is open another chat. So you would have multiple tabs, and I did it in the video. I switched tabs. So when you have a ChatGPT account, you can have multiple conversations, but not in the same window. So when it's processing to draw a picture or waiting, then you can go to another tab. And I did do that in the video. If you pay for ChatGPT, which you don't have to do at all, it seems to be a little faster, but even in a paid account, really it'll say there's too many people doing this right now. My engines are busy, right? So, but yeah, so what you can do is multiple windows, multiple tabs, and have conversations going on. I do it all the time. Just don't get confused which conversation it is. Does it let you know when your picture is ready? What will happen if you have an account? Your pictures go into a file as you grow. Now that keeps changing, so that may not be true anymore. Again, this is a moving target. So it says it's going to let you know, but you have to go back to the conversation to see it. But they used to put all the pictures in a file and you could go look at it. But now that I think about it, that might not be there anymore. So it does change. And the one thing about drawing a picture with ChatGPT, and this may change, is that it can draw a really good picture. But let's say it drew Tracy, a nice picture of Tracy, because I gave him an example and she was in a blue dress, but we wanted Tracy in a green dress. And we wanted exactly the same picture. It can't redraw the exact same picture. It doesn't remember what it drew, which sounds silly, but it doesn't. The other thing about ChatGPT, it never knows what the right date is. It's terrible at calendar stuff, which it boggles my mind that something as smart as what it is cannot do calendar stuff correctly. But it'll go, today is Monday, June 8th, 2025. And you're like, no, it's not. Like, so it's funny, the stuff that it doesn't do well. I'm just getting to this. How long have you been exploring ChatGPT? Have you had any formal computer training? I have been using ChatGPT for as long as it kind of a year and a half probably is when it kind of hit the scene in a big way. I have seen improvements with it every week. Like you'll see there's different versions, and I definitely see that there's different success with versions of it. So we talked about this before. I started my computers in high school with little punch cards. I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer, and I worked in high tech for 20 years before I became my own person, but I was never a programmer. Like I said at the beginning of this, I was really into making sure that software worked for people. So I've always come in with that. Are you creating something that's actually usable, as opposed to creating, because a lot of techies, they love tech. It's like, they create this funky tech and you're like, but I'd never use it that way. So that's the part that I've always sat in. I don't think I've programmed anything since, I don't know, I was 21, 22, 23, never wanted to program.
A couple of years ago.
Question, not IT related. Do you have a favorite coloring pencil brand? Good question. And there's new ones out there that I have never used that I recently, there's a woman in the UK who runs a color pencil challenge, and she ran one about 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I've never heard of that brand, because I had to stop color penciling for a while because of carpal tunnel. So the two brands that I like, if you're doing color pencil, it is worth investing in a professional brand. So, there's like cheap, there's like student level, and then there's professional level. And so you will know a difference if you do that, if you go from the cheap level to the professional level. I'm going to buy boxes here, but I have, so the ones that's very popular in the US and becoming a little bit less popular, I think, are the Prism color pencils.
Prismacolor.
So the Prismacolor ones, the professional level ones, they're nice. They are wax based. And so they can get, like, if you do something, they can get what's called a wax bloom. So once it's finished, the bloom can come out, and then you can just clean that off. So sometimes you need to put a fix-it on this if you're doing something that's going to be permanent. They're wax-based, but they are the most popular because they've been around the longest. And then there is, I always get this one wrong. Tracy's going to go, who's that? These are my colored pencil boxes, by the way. Faber-Castell is one of the other popular ones. But like for skin tones, and this is why it depends what you're doing. For skin tones, Faber-Castell is really good. Prismacolors is not. And so often you'll buy one of to get the skin tones. These are oil-based, so they don't have the wax bloom, but they're not as intense colors. So they have really good pinks, though. So it's kind of, the white's not very good. And now there's a whole bunch of new ones. Derwent has them as well. So there's lots of new ones. So the answer is find out, but make sure you pay like, you're better to have a small amount of quality color pencils than a bunch of inexpensive color pencils. That makes sense.
I believe that Ruth is probably asking that because of just something that we got into yesterday with one of the Q&As, and Heather was showing us something with the color pencils, right? So that's my guess.
Yes,
I just can't remember whose video. Sorry,
doesn't matter. Debbie was saying, Michelle's video. Debbie was saying And it's usually one of the new updates that causes stuff to not work. Absolutely. I agree with that. I remember when you had to have a modem connected to a landline. Yep, that was me. I actually, sadly, I still have one of those computers in my basement that I have to get rid of.
Could be an antique now.
Somebody says they can't wait to, as soon as they get back from break from all these videos. Yes. AI is really powerful. Just going through these. If they said it can be done in 30 minutes, it would take me an hour, and I'm such a slow crafter. You're not a slow crafter. You're doing it at your own speed.
Yeah.
Yes. Debbie says she uses 3 different AIs. Which ones do you use, Debbie? Because I'm always wanting to learn. There's so many out there. How do you get it to work? Do you ask ChatGPT or AI? So, very good question. So you can, a couple of answers to this. So just go ChatGPT, Google ChatGPT, bring it up, and you will get like a conversation window. And you can do it without even creating an account. You just have very limited functionality if you don't have an account, and it doesn't save your conversation. You can create a ChatGPT account for free. And then it will save your conversations. And all you do is, and my freebie is prompts to get you started. So Lori, if you download the freebie from today, it has prompts to get you started. And so all you do is ask it a question. You can say, hi, I want to design a card for my great niece who's graduating from university today. And she loves sports. She's a basketball player. And I want it to be in her favorite color, which is dark purple. That would be what you would put in it. And it will come back with a recipe card for you. And then you can say, okay, I like this. I don't like that. Could you change this?
Yeah. And I admit it, because like when you said graduation there, Heather, because I had done it for my daughter's graduation last December from a vegan school, cooking school. Okay. You try and find a card or a stamp or anything that has to do with that, right? Trust me, there's nothing. So I went into chat and I did it. And I said, can you come up with something to do with this? And it did. And then I went, okay, let's challenge chat. And of course, I, said maybe make it more about this subject or put some food in there or whatever I asked. And then eventually I said, for fun, I said, can you turn that into a poem? And it did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it got, and as Heather said, it knows a bit of my style, right? And I said add a little humor in there and stuff like that. And I got this poem from it for a graduating a vegan school.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And it's not just ChatGPT.
So
You already have AI on your Google search, by the way. You
yeah.
already have AI on a lot of things. If you have a Google account, there is Gemini, I believe is the name of the Google one. It's there. The thing is that each has a slightly different voice or format on how it presents things. Some people really love one called Claudia. I have not gotten into that. And so there's lots out there, but AI is AI is all computer stuff, by the way. It's artificial intelligence. Google has AI. All of them have AI. It's just we've adapted that term. ChatGPT is kind of like what's a good example? It's kind of like Google. It's another type of Google. It's kind of like a particular application. And in answering your next question, because Jan asked, because this leads in, is ChatGPT a website or an app? It's actually both. So ChatGPT is, you can use it on your computer. You can also download the app to your phone. I actually don't use the app on my phone because 90% of what I'm doing for it is to write emails or position stuff, not for the crafting world, but you can put it on your phone. I'll give you an example. I know someone who was had, guess what is it when you're pregnant and you have diabetes? Whatever that's called. There's a name for it. It starts with a G. And she used it to monitor all her diabetes stuff. She put it in and it would give a table that she could send to her doctor. And I wouldn't necessarily use really private stuff on ChatGPT, even though she had a paid account. I know people who use it for meal planning. There's just so many applications you can use it for. They don't like meal plan. They put their food in. It gives them a grocery list. So they put in, these are the things that I want to make. And you can actually put a website in. So they put the website in, they get the recipe. This is what I want to make. Could you make me a grocery list? So all the things that just kind of help you in life without doing everything. So
and yes,
it
I
has
was going to say gestational. I can't say it probably gestational diabetes.
So is ChatGPT and Creative Fabrica similar for AI? I would say Creative Fabrica probably has some AI built into it. ChatGPT is very different. It's funny because it's so advanced, but it's so annoying at the same time. It's a very simple interface. So you have to, if you want to do a line return, you have to do Control Enter, otherwise it submits it. So it's, on one hand, it's really sophisticated. On the other hand, it's really simple. But Creative Fabrica may have some AI built into it, and I suspect some of it's image drawing. So we were talking to Alicia last night. Alicia, she uses AI to create some of her images as well as images from places like Creative Fabrica. So it's moving into everything you do. What is your favorite craft to make using AI? I actually have not crafted using AI, so that's a good question, but I have not had a lot of time to craft lately. Honestly, but I would say, yeah, I don't have an answer. Tracy had a question.
No, just what's your favorite craft to make using AI? I'm just not, like I said, I've used it for the inside of a card or for some of my journaling and things like that. Because yeah, I admit it, my wording, especially English, is not the best. It really isn't.
So good question, Susan. If AI isn't trustworthy, why use it? Because number one, I'll give you some examples. It's not that Google's not trustworthy, by the way. You guys,
you're using Google.
Everything you Google is created and saved. That's why you get ads when you Google, I want a new bra. And all of a sudden you see hundreds of bras in all your advertising. None of this is safe. But it's all about how I don't bank on my phone, because I used to design this stuff, and I know that the interface on my phone is not very safe. So I do no banking on my phone. That's me, right? So you have to learn your tolerance of safe. But if I'm crafting, there's nothing I care about what AI learns. I don't put anything on AI that would bother me to be out in the public domain, right? So it's about learning and choice. So why use it? It saves you so much time, or it moves you from a creative block. So I'll give you a couple examples on this one because I think it helps you understand. I had a problem where my email wouldn't sync anymore. And I Googled it and I watched videos. An hour into it, I could not solve this problem. The help messages in Google weren't working. And I mean Google the application, not even Googling it. I went to AI and I said, this isn't working. Can you help me? And within 30 seconds, I had not only what was wrong, but how to fix it. I had a 1, 2, 3 point how to fix it, because it went and read all those articles and digested it for me and came up with a solution. And after being very frustrated for about 2 hours because I couldn't read my email and we were in the middle of registration for some of the stuff, I had a solution with AI who gave me the steps to fix it. Now, from another point of view of when it looks for us to create the freebie that I gave you guys. So AI, the original version I wrote, I'm dyslexic. So for me, AI is great because it fixes my problems, right? Tracy knows I leave EDs, INGs, U's. I leave a lot off, which is my dyslexia. I write really well, but grammatically speaking, it will not be there. So I use AI to fix that. But I don't always like what it writes. So then I'll tell it, well, no, make this my voice, make it more Heather. So it's a little bit about knowing what you're trusting. But is anything in your crafting world, do you mind if AI knows about it? Right? And that's always a good question to kind of caveat it. I'm not too keen. I use it in my job to write a letter to tenants, but I put in what I wanted it and help me put it together nicely. Exactly. That's 100% it, Susan. Suzette. It's putting in what you want and then helping it. You don't have to accept what it gives you. Right? You can say, no, that's not me. Like I often will say, make this more Heather. Make it more me. And then it goes, okay. And I've been using it for a long time, so it kind of knows my voice.
Yeah, you could just take it, like you're saying, copy, paste it into your Word or wherever you're putting it and just change it yourself. Like if there's certain things, at least you go, that's what I want to say. But now I'm just going to change a couple words on my own. Go for it.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a question. Please look into the water and power usage AI requires before using. It's very bad. It's just, I don't know anything about that. It's an application on my computer, so I don't think it uses anymore, but it's going to be forced on you anyways. I'm going to be honest with you in that respect. Do you ever use AI to get images with text? For example, the version I use to generate Facebook birthday images often misspell basic words. It's getting better. It is getting better, Pam, so absolutely. I don't use it. I would use it more in Canva if I was going to do something with an image. although I will say in the last 3 weeks, the images are better. And I didn't use it for a lot. So if you're a VIP, the image I used to create my muse and my designer was done in AI, but it must have taken me 20 versions to get something that I really liked. And so for that perspective, ChatGPT makes mistakes. That's what you have to know going into this. It's going to make mistakes. They all do, but they're getting better. And sometimes okay, I like that idea. I'll go draw it myself. And I will tend to go to Canva to do that. I'm going to draw it myself. But yeah, there are better image generators. And I'll eventually get around to some people's suggestions as I go down the comments. It's changing every day. And I think what my message with this is, just play with it. Don't put your deepest secrets in your financial world out there, but just play with it and see what it can do for you. Off topic, what led you to start doing summits? Oh, Lynette, I did my first summit in 2015 before there was Zoom. My first summit was live on the telephone. I left everybody on hold, which was really embarrassing because we talked for half an hour and nobody could hear us. I did my first summit in the business space back then. I have done many business summits. And then what led to this was I saw that the crafting industry was starting to do summits, and I went, aha, it's something, because I wanted to get out of doing summits in the business space because there's so many and it just feels like not new. And Tracy knows I like new and challenging. And Tracy and I met, people have heard this story, but I'll do it again. Tracy and I met networking and have known each other for, I don't even know how many years. And I thought, and I was pushing Tracy to do more online, trying to get her to do more online to expand her business. And I said, Tracy, would you like to come over for lunch? And I dropped the idea on her and she had to digest it. And it took probably about 8 months before we did our first summit. And that's how we ended up doing. We had nobody, we knew nobody, we had no list. We involved our amazing speakers who have been with us, and our sponsors really helped us grow to where we went from nothing to, we have 10,000 people registered for each summit. So that's how we did it. And I love doing them. And it's so much fun to do it in a non-business space. It's much more fun, ladies. It's much, much more fun to do it in this crafty space than in the business space. So Karen used to be an engineer. Yes, she did. We were talking about that. Chat. So Debbie uses, I know I get there, ChatGPT, DeepSpeak, and Gemini. Gemini is the Google version that you get free with your email account if you have a Google account. Some this morning. So someone's playing it a bit with this morning and loving it. Yeah, just embrace it and have fun. And be smart. My best friend is a color pencil artist. She told me she buys singles when purchasing the really good color pencils. Exactly. I have a full set of the Faber-Castells because it was a gift. I have a full set of those. My Prism colors, I started with a set of, I think, 48. So that basic color. And then I bought them individually. And now I think I own all the colors, although there may be more because I haven't bought any for a while. And so that's really good advice with color pencil. And you're better, like a lot of things mentioned the other day, you're better buying good quality certain things. And you can get away with bad quality other things, right? And I think that's true in your paper crafting, right? Like I'm going to put words in Tracy's mouth and she may or may not agree. You want to buy good quality glue. You don't want to buy cheap glue, right?
It's very true.
Yeah. So, but you can buy cheap. I don't know. Give me something that doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm trying to think of.
It depends. Well, I'll say maybe some less expensive because I don't like the word cheap.
No.
But sorry, I don't. But like maybe a sticker ephemera, as long as and then I'll say don't put it on top of a picture. So,
yeah, exactly. Well, and so
it's on paper on paper.
Even Michelle's project from yesterday, she used envelopes, right? So you so from a color pencil, if you want to take color pencils and you're not satisfied with what you're getting on your cards or your scrapbooking, think about the quality of the pencil. And that's definitely true. We're going back. Thanks for answering the question. We just randomly curious. I have and Spectrum Noir color pencils. Yeah. So those are new types that weren't out when I did this. We'll be back after go eat dinner. There we go. People in different time zones. I'm just going for Microsoft downloads a freebie to play with, but I didn't know how to start with it. Your explanation of what I needed to know, start now. Exactly. Play. That's it, Cindy, is play. Oh, we're getting to Yes, AI shows up at the top when you do a search in Google now. Exactly. AI is kind of like a Google's on steroids. Very good explanation. It does more because it creates. So it's Google on steroids from a search point of view, but it can draw an image for you. It can do a lot more things. Great advice. Thank you. We're really catching up. Good idea for meal planning. Oh, congratulations. So Joyce just found out her daughter is pregnant last night. That's exciting.
There you go.
Tracy just found out she became a grandmother, a
step-grandmother. Like a kind of a step-grandmother. My stepdaughter basically just had her baby yesterday. So there you go, baby boy.
So this is, I kind of answered this, but is there anything you should be aware of in AI or ChatGPT? Like any application, people don't realize that Google tracks everything you do, right? And I was aware of it, and then my niece, during the pandemic, my niece lived with me for 6 weeks, and I'm sitting in Facebook, and all of a sudden I start seeing ads on things that I would never search for, and I'm like, Alicia, are you buying this? Are you looking at this, right? So her buying behavior ended up in my Facebook ad, right? And that was 2020. That was 5 years ago. Right. And so you are being tracked by AI anyways. So be aware of. Now, one of the big things you'll hear out there in the news is don't ask AI for medical advice. But I would say don't ask a computer for medical advice.
I was going to say, any doctor doesn't like you doing that anyway. They don't.
But you can use it to gain knowledge, to have questions to ask your doctor. So you go in informed. But don't follow what AI tells you to do, because they tested it on a medical exam and it was only right 30% of the time, in the level that a doctor needs to be right. It doesn't mean it was wrong the other 70% of the time. So be smart, right?
Yep.
It's really what it's about, is be smart when you use this. I was wondering how well chat would do with assistance on updating a resume. Actually, it would be very good for that, to make backgrounds for calendars. ChatGPT would be really good for a resume update. I do it to write my bio. You just have to be insistent. But it really is good. If you put the facts in and say, could you help me write my resume? It would work. Now, the other thing that you can look for is something called a custom GPT. So if you're a VIP and you go into my bonus, you have 2 custom GPTs. One is called the Paper Crafty Muse, and the other one is the Paper Craft Designer. And basically what it is that it's pre-programmed questions, and it just helps you. So you don't have to ask the questions, it asks them to you. So in my Papercraft Muse, it'll say, what would you like to do today? And you say, well, I want to write a card for my grandmother. And then it'll ask you all the questions it needs to give you the sentiment that you want to put in it. So if you search in ChatGPT for a custom GPT to write a resume, somebody may have already done that work for you. And so it's just it's like another level of programming. And a lot of them are publicly available, so you can find one. So is there a custom GPT to write a resume? It will probably give you one that even makes it easier. I'm getting technical, so there you go. AI is great for creating a fast starting point. Exactly. Sometimes it's hard to get started. Absolutely. Heather, do you think that AI could write something persuasive enough to convince Tracy to open her Cricut box? Ruth, that's a really good question. I don't think so.
No.
You know how the box is going to get opened is by me going over and then say, Tracy, I want to try this. And then she'd let me play with her box.
But however, let me just say this, Ruth, maybe when I'm actually going to do it, and maybe I've already done it, I just won't tell anybody, but maybe when I actually do it, I'll go into ChatGPT, I can't say that properly, sorry, and type in, okay, what's my first step with the Cricut? Who knows? Like,
exactly.
I might, so it might.
That's a great example. I've been playing with this for the last hour. So simple and fun. Never used an AI before. Exactly. Now, if you are using the free version of ChatGPT, it will time out on the most recent version. You can keep going. It's just going to downgrade you to a version before that. It's just way. But if you pay for it, I haven't timed out yet on the pay one.
Yeah, sometimes it might just say, basically you're timed out kind of thing. So you go back tomorrow and keep asking those questions and continue on. Or you go on to Gemini or one of the other ones and start there.
Exactly. So AI in text is a no, such funny results. I agree on images. It is funny results, although it's getting better. There are some, so Suzette's husband uses it for his images, but it takes time and it's gotten better since he started. There's also AI applications that just do photos and just do videos. I have not played with them, but there are AI applications that are specifically designed to draw images. I use ChatGPT more as an overall thing to spark ideas.
So Heather,
I use DALL-E for images. So yeah, DALL-E is one of the ones that does images.
So okay, I'm in the free version of ChatGPT. How do I know all of a sudden it does images or the next thing it might do?
You don't. Sometimes it tells you, rarely it does. I just got added a bunch of new functionality in my paid one. I have no idea what it is. You have to understand ChatGPT is something called open source, which means millions of designers are playing with this thing. And then, so you don't always know what's coming up. And so you don't. The answer is you really don't, unless you're following threads and things like that. So
just try it and
that's okay. But DALL-E is the image drawing one, which I have not played with. So if you're focusing on images, although it is used as part of ChatGPT, how will AI improve your summit in the future? We don't know yet, but it has. We use AI for this summit, right? So it's changed to be transparent. We write a lot of our emails with AI. So we take the ones that we wrote. So here's exactly what I said into AI. We took the emails we wrote in the fall and we said, how can we 2025 this so that we get better open rates and conversions? Conversions is when somebody joins. So how can we 2025 this email? Tracy will tell you I drove her nuts doing this because I did it on almost every single email that we sent out. And it improved. We have better, certain things have changed, certain things haven't. It also helped us analyze the results. So I can take all the results of what's happening, put it into AI, and it gives me a comparison to my own results, but it also compares what's happening in the industry, what it's able to understand. So we use it that way as well. We can use it to say what's going on, what's the latest trend in 2025. Not always agree with it, but it sparks my brain to think, and then I come up with an idea. So it's a tool it's like having your own. That's why I called it your crafter, your little assistant, somebody who's helping you. Hopefully that was a good question, Patricia. Hopefully it's a good answer. You can use Alicia's tip to reuse cardboard instead of foam tape. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're talking about what's different. Instead of foam tape, reuse cardboard. Yeah, you get stuff upgraded with no explanation. AI boggles my mind enough. Go ahead. Sorry,
we don't see what you're answering there, Heather. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading them as I go through. AI boggles my mind. I'm a software engineer, but I still can't figure it out. And how it does what it does. Yeah, it is boggling. I'm a software. Did not know you were a software engineer, Sandy. There you go. You learned something new. Yeah, it does boggle my mind, which is why I never wanted to know how it works. I just want to know how it works for me, not how it works in the background. That's always been my engineering mind. I want to make sure it works well. Debbie J's a step grandmother too, so, and a step great grandmother.
Yeah, well, congrats.
I always ask people to check their sources when they quote Google. Exactly. When it's in AI, it's more difficult to track the source, but it's still important to assert it. But Ruth, you can ask it. Where did you get this information from? So it's sometimes it's harder to track, but you can actually ask it and say, where did this information come from? How can I use it? If you're on the internet, you're being watched. Exactly. I'll be sure to fix. I'm getting there. Comments. There you go. Oh, so somebody, if you wanted to learn how to use a circuit, those are good teachers. Yeah. Yes, somebody was saying, I hate when I accidentally click somebody and end up with ads. I agree with you. I hate when I click something on purpose and end up with ads.
You wait, it'll happen, I'm sure, in ChatGPT eventually, because it'll happen.
So Debbie said, if anybody uses Canva has added a lot. Canva does a big release once a year, and their big release this year, it's always in April because Tracy, they had this amazing feature they created that saved me. So this is an example of evolution saving us so much time. All the images that you see in this thing, I create by hand, and they actually added a way that I can put data in a spreadsheet and then just bulk create. So what used to take me half a day took 1 minute. These are the things that AI and computer evolution really help. But like, it used to take me half a day to do all the images, cut and paste. And I'm like, I just made a very built spreadsheet within Canva, and boom, I could bulk create all my images. It was like, yay. It's my favorite thing of all the stuff that changed and saved me time this summit. But Canva's AI stuff I find is still needs a lot of work. But if you use Canva, if you don't, which is a great drawing tool, that's one that can have AI as well. There's so many out there. I don't know them all. I don't think any of us do. I cannot print your document. Can't print which document, Diane? There's download it to, it's just built in a PDF. So I don't know why you can't print it. So download it. If you really get in trouble, we can send you the Word document, but it should print. It's just a standard PDF document. So I don't know why it wouldn't print. But that is not my expertise. See, I may be techie, but I don't know that one. Printing's not my thing. I don't print very much. So I'm not sure why it would not print. I don't know if anybody else has any problems with that, but Tracy, you printed it, did you?
I did not print it yet. I've downloaded it to have it. Now, Diana, also, if you're having issues, like you can just email me. I can, like Heather said, send you a different copy or something, maybe try it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Pam never thought to ask research questions. I didn't initially, Pam, but I started to do it when like the story I was telling earlier about not being able to get my email to work. I was so frustrated. I thought, I'm just going to ask AI. Now I start by asking AI before I ask Google, because it's just like, it saved me so much time. My garden hose was leaking, tap was leaking, and I couldn't figure out why. I asked AI, it gave me a good answer. Then I called my brother, who gave me a more specific answer. But they were both the same. It's just hearing it and talking it out with my brother made more sense. So the free one, I tried printing the download. I have tried it from Microsoft and Chrome. It would have to be a setting in your document, but just write us, Diane, just respond to an email and we'll send you a copy. Ask ChatGPT how to print it. You could try that. I don't know why it wouldn't print, because it's just a standard PDF document. So I don't know why. But just send us an email and we'll send you a copy of it, because I don't honestly know why it would not print. Unless somebody else has some insight in that one, I don't know.
I'm just printing it now. Like literally just printing it now. Like you're talking about the free gift, correct? Just so I know.
Yeah, the free one.
Yeah. I'd have to run downstairs, but I can go downstairs and get it, you know?
Yeah, so
because it seems like it would have worked. Now
download it
sometimes
to your computer and then just give us an email and we'll send it to you if you can't get it.
Yeah.
So any other questions on ChatGPT? I love all the questions, by the way, because I think from a crafting perspective, it's just really helpful. Can ChatGPT me how to get things done in a day? Ask it. Sandy, ask it. You know what? I mean, there are some fun questions going, oh, Dorothy can't print it either. I will look into that. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know why. I will look into that. It's just a straight PDF. So maybe we have a setting. I'll have to look and see why that doesn't work. I'm not sure. But thank you for letting us know. I don't really understand why that wouldn't happen. But what you can do with ChatGPT, Sandy, is I've used it for so long. You can go, ChatGPT, could you tell me what you know about me? And it'll say this thing like, okay, I can kind of get to know what it's been learning from me. It's on it would have been the freebie page. So on my video page, Susan, the file is on there, and that's where they're trying to print it from. So I'm not sure. If somebody can tell us why, we will fix it. I can reload it and see, but I don't know why you wouldn't be able to print it. It's just a standard PDF.
Yeah, no, it's, again, I've downloaded it now and it should be printed downstairs. I'm pointing as if you could see the stairs over there, but email me and I can at least send it to you. But
it keeps saying my program is not responding. So that I really don't understand. I can reload it and see, but I don't know why that would be doing. I just printed my download PDF then that you provided. So some people are able to print it and some aren't. That's just the internet these days. So I don't understand. But yeah, just if you're having trouble printing it, just let us know. We will send it to you and email it to you. Any other questions for AI-ish? AI-ish? Really, just play. No issues on printing. Yeah, so other people haven't had issues on other free printouts. Don't know. I will do my best. It doesn't show up on my page for you. Okay, something weird's going on there. We will look onto it when we get off of here because I don't understand what's going on. Got to have some technical issues in this world. I will see what's going on and see what it is. I don't know. Oh, it's just technology. This is one of those. Just bear with us. We'll figure it out and we'll email it to you. As I said, I'm not really sure why it's not showing up. There's no download instructions. This is not your download instructions. This is the free gift because there are no instructions for mine. It shows up on mine.
So that's true. Maybe they are hitting the instruction. They're trying to where it's like a clearer.
Yeah,
like
and
it's
I'm
not
able
really
to
a button. So
I'm able to print it as well. So I'm not really sure what that is. Although it's telling my printer has problems, but that's normal because I rarely print. That's normal because I only have one cartridge in my printer. But
I know what you got to do, right?
Yes, I know what I have to do. So yeah, we'll look into it, but I don't really know why. No worries. AI is revolting against you. It could be. Try printing to a PDF first. That will save it to your computer. Great suggestion, Sandy. So you are a software engineer. There you go. So yeah, if you can't print it to your printer, try printing to a PDF, save it, do that. Like I said, I really don't know why it's not working. Very confusing. We will solve it. Just write us. We'll see what's going on. Any other questions? Anybody else playing with AI and using it, which is also the other way. And really, it's just play with it. The first place I would start, if you're a card maker and you're challenge writing sentiments, start there. Because that, I think, is one of the easiest ones to see how powerful it is. And then the other one is when you're looking for something. Like I used another example I used in my presentation was, your Cricut's not cutting well. What's wrong? And what we would have done in the past, we'd Google it and watch like 15 videos and probably go off on tangents as we're trying to find it. And this one will give you what is possibly a solution. And often it will give you, try this. If that doesn't work, try this. If that doesn't work, let me know and I'll give you another suggestion. So it kind of walks you through what you can do. So it's good for that kind of things. That can do it for you. So just have fun with it. It's just another tool in your treasure chest of crafting tools. But it is a powerful tool for certain things.
So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just seeing if any more questions come in. I'm not getting any, so we are back at
2 with Monique Leslie. Sorry, I'm just looking at. I'm not looking down. I'm looking. I'm reading my little my not piece of paper.
We are back at 2 p.m. with Monique Leslie. Don't forget to submit your bingo cards. Either submit it through the form that we have or post it in the Facebook group. Thank you, ladies. What is this one? Thank you, ladies, so much for an entire summit. You two have done a fantastic job. Thank you. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this year's summit and learned so much. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And it's been a lot of fun. We have really good quality speakers, good quality things. If you haven't bought the VIP package and you want to buy it, this is your last chance. The price will go up probably Tuesday. Actually, it's not going to go up. We lied. We made a decision last night. The price is not going to go up for the package. It's going to disappear. It's going to go back in our vaults, and we're going to do something different this time. So if you want the VIP package, there's some amazing discounts, some great training from our speakers in there. I think Debbie J is still here. She gives you an offer of a coupon, and you can go shop at her master classes. So that's one of the ones that's in there. It also gives you access to all these videos to rewatch for at least a year. Much longer than that, likely, but we always want to promise something that's realistic. And it will disappear probably on Wednesday. So if it's something that you want, now's the time to get it. It's going to go back, as some people will say in this summit world, it's going to go back in our vault and use it for other things, but we're not going to do it. So VIP is definitely worth it. It truly is. And for our VIPs who attended the crop, so I'm going to share one last thing here. So for our VIPs who attended the crop, the video did not work. We did not get a video out of it. So what we did to redo things this morning is we actually re-recorded a shorter instruction one so that you guys can do the project, and Tracy got me doing it. So those who know me well, I have not done a lot of card making and anything. So this is the one. I'm going to change this. So this is what I ended up doing this morning for our VIPs. So this is what we did in our live crop. And then we didn't record it well. So then we redid it. And this is what I did today. And that video will go up later today for the VIPs in our VIP area. So there you go. So we are committed, even when things don't work out well, to find a workaround for it for the most part. And that's an example of it. I wish today wasn't the last day. I know, Ella, it's been a great one. We will be talking about it in the wrap up, when our next summit is, what else is coming up. If you do want to keep playing with us, we do have the Scrapbooking Fun Circle, and we have stuff coming up for that as well. So definitely keep in line. We love doing this. We love our circle members. If you're a VIP, take advantage of your discount coupon for the Scrapbooking for the circle. You get a month free, and then you get 20% off. If you're not a VIP, keep your eyes open. There's other stuff coming about the circle as well. Thank you, Ruth. Yeah, it was pretty good turnout, I have to say. From far away, it's really nice. Go further away, it's really nice.
Oh, it's
closer.
It's great.
I don't have any scrapbooking paper, by the way. I had this because I made Christmas albums out of one of our classes from our circle. So in our circle classes, we made this. One of our instructors one of our circle members taught us how to make this foldy album. And I made several of these for Christmas. And so I had paper from that. So I have done some things associated with that. Tracy, I sent you a message on Facebook page with my email address. Okay. Debbie's
will do that.
Have a great wrap up. We'll be dreaming about it. Yeah. Sorry, Ruth, that it's late for you. But if you're playing bingo, submit your bingo card because you're still eligible whether you can make the wrap up live or not. We're here for you, and we're always trying to turn things and get things going. And for everyone, if you're not back later, there will be a survey that goes out tomorrow, probably. Fill out the survey. If there's speakers that you want, if there's techniques you want us to teach, if there's something in particular, this is your opportunity to give us some input so that the next one adds something else to it, because Tracy's always looking. And if you have a speaker, somebody you love who nobody really knows about, Tracy would love that too. She loves to bring unusual and different. So yeah, so just sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was reading junk mail is a great source for paper. Yes, it is. But definitely fill out the survey. You'll see that tomorrow, both for VIPs and non-VIPs. You'll get a survey that just helps us take it up a different level. But we're going to talk all about that in the wrap up. I think that's it. We are going to go and breathe before our next one with Monique Leslie. And then we have Pam Watson, and we have Naomi. And then we have our wrap up at 7 p.m. North American Eastern Standard Time. So thank you all for joining live. Thanks for all the great questions. My piece of advice is just go play with AI. You know, you don't even have to sign in. Just play with it. And as you build more confidence on how it works for you, then you can get a free account. I only got a paid account for this event. I have not had a paid account, and I've been using it for 1.5 years. Mind you, I won't get rid of my paid account because it gives me a lot more functionality as a business owner, right? And so from a business perspective, the paid account is worth it. From a crafter's perspective, I don't think you need a paid account. So don't worry about paying for it. And check out all the other different AIs that are out there as well. So thank you all. We will see you in about an hour. Thanks very much, everyone. Bye.
Peace.